Hello and welcome to another Tower of God video. Today we'll be talking about Hell Joe, the new release character. A lot of hype for this one. Also, it's golden hour, so if I just start bugging out with the lighting, I'm just excited. Anyways, we'll be talking about Hell Joe. Before we even start, actually, I just really want to say this guy is not my Hell Joe. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, I know people complain about the art, but let's look at Hell Joe from Tower of God, and let's compare and contrast. Okay. I was expecting something like this. Not this. Anyways, I do appreciate the artist. I just feel like, I don't know. Anyways, as always, we'll look at his description. We'll start off with the passive, and then we'll go to the special move and onwards. How to check a quick little peek at him. He seems very attack oriented, and he's one of those characters where we won't really know how good he is until we see the actual numbers for this guy. But so far, he seems to be like just a very strong like damage dealing unit, which is fine, but not what I thought he was going to be. But at least his purple. It was pretty obvious he was going to be purple because purple needs help, but he is really only limited to purple based on his passive. So let's start. At the start of battle, Helljoe's attack and HP increases by N and N per purple ally. So the more purple allies you have, the better. We want him to be purple. I am not sure if we want him to be exclusively purple. But if they start off with something along the lines of it being specifically for an element, that means that normally they're like absurdly strong because they're for that specific element. Just look at Doan for that as an example, as a way to like, make them viable for that color specifically. So just assume that he's gonna do a lot of stupid amount of damage, right? The more purple you have, the higher the attack, the higher the HP. Enemy damage by Helljoe has the defense decreased by N and the swiftness decreased by N. This is actually kind of strong. If this, obviously the higher number the better, but I think this is going to be a really slept on part of his passive because a decrease in swiftness is always very, very strong. And having every enemy damage by Helljoe has the defense hit by N%. I don't know if it's per hit, if it's per skill, but just assume that this is going to be what makes him cracked. And I think this is the skill part of this passive that people are going to ignore. I think he's mid until he comes out and he does actually a stupid amount of damage, right? Anyways, upon taking fatal damage for the first time, Red Thresher gets out of control, making it invincible for N seconds. So he becomes invisible for a couple seconds. He removes debuffs and HP recovery. And then also, after he gets a bunch of HP back, essentially, he gets his moves with me now. But as he gets his HP back, he will slowly start decreasing until he dies. So imagine a bomb's like invincible thing. Apart from he will also, but instead of it, he just recovered from the entire time. He will slowly increase his HP. Overall, not a bad passive, and we'll have to see what these percentages are, obviously. But this character is just based on percentages, how much he gets off of the passive. And if we go to his ult. Teleport to the area where enemies are concentrated and absorb sentry from nearby enemies, dealing N of attack as damage N times, right? So, goes there, does a bunch of damage, cool, okay? And then after that, he causes an explosion, does even more damage. We'll have to see what the percentages are, obviously. And the final explosion attack increases attack coefficient for N for every N of target currently lost. I don't really know what that means. I'm not gonna lie. I'm assuming that the more people get attacked by the skill, the more damage it does, which is why it can't teleport to an area where there's lots of enemies. And also you recover HP, which is actually really good because of the passive. The passive makes it so that the more HP after he gets full damage, he'll just lose HP, right? So this guy will come and get more and more and more HP. Then we go to his active, okay? The reason I'm going to go to the weak beam first because it kind of works with Blood Messiah and his passive a little bit, where it says Helljoe fires a Shishu beam forward, dealing N of attack and knocks him back. Knocking back is I've learned to realize that knocking back is actually a really good skill. People are underestimating that, but he knocks people back, which is cool. And if his HP is higher when using the skill, decreases HP by N of max HP and increases his attack coefficient by N. So basically, the more HP this guy has, the more damage he will do, because not only will he'll get damage from the skill, he'll also get damage based on like the HP experience, which sounds strong at first. I'm just a little scared because of deficits, right? I don't know. Like, I think at high deficits, this kind of nerfs him a little bit because at 400 deficits, the enemy team will probably have more HP than you. So I don't know how strong this is, how much HP Helljo is gonna get, but you know, if HP is below N, he recovers HP and equal to the damage that dealt. So basically, if he has less HP, he heals himself. If he has more HP, he does more damage. So the way that I'm seeing the concept of this character is he's all about a huge amount of XP. I feel like a lot of his kit is hidden within his exclusive weapons and revolution, but we'll go on to the next skill, right? But for this skill specifically, they're really trying to aim for the whole, if you're fighting harder enemies, it'll be easier for him to survive. If he fights weaker enemies, he just instantly destroys them, right? So I think that's generally what the type of like mechanic you're trying to get him to do. But either way, the next part, Helljo summons a 0 zone above the area where enemies are concentrated for 5 seconds, dealing N% of attack as damage every second. Numbers again. Enemy in the 0 zone has the HP recovery blocked and the swiftness decreased by N. This is really good. Swiftness decrease from this, and the ult is not the ult, the whatchamacallit, the passive is really good. So then they'll be really hard for enemies to do things against you. And the AP recovery block is cool, stops against fighting against healers, all that stuff, right? So here's my thought of this character, right? He's gonna do a lot of damage. I don't know if he's a must-have unit because he is competing with a lot of purple characters like White, even like Mommy Mashney. I don't think Mommy Mashney is relevant anymore, but either way, you're still competing against another really strong purple unit. So this character will have to do a stupid amount of damage because I don't think that his team support is as strong as it seems like. I'm assuming that they're gonna do it like an HP to shield conversion at some point, where like he can, where if the excess HP will count as a shield. If that's the case, he becomes a lot better because I think there'll be times where he'll have excess HP, which is kind of weird because he gets so much HP from the heal, first of all from his passive, right? If he gets hit by a lot, he heals a lot. He also gets HP from the ult. And then this skill is going to be a heavy damage dealing skill. And that skill is also based on how much HP you have compared to the enemy team. And then also here, you also block HP to make it so that the enemy won't have more HP than you, so that this skill does more damage. So in overall, this character is really based on how much HP they have. And that's normally just based on the limits of on the percentage of your character. So at the high deficits, I think this character becomes less useful. Unless if you can get excess HP and the excess HP can be converted into a shield or something, and that shield counts as extra permanent XP, right? So that like the amount of HP you can get is past the maximum your character quote unquote has, and that would be the shield. So I think that's the way that he's going. I'm disappointed he didn't get a energy drain like all the other characters, but I'm assuming it might be included on this skill or that skill because I'm not this skill. It might be included the exclusive weapon or the revolution because this game loves the Mago set. So yes. Anyways, we can go on to the next character, Hockney. I love the Hockney. Hockney seems very, very strong. He's purple. Like I said before, they're probably gonna increase the buff the purple team a lot until the next EX unit. The next EX unit is 99.9 going to be a blue unit. So in order to give them a relevant team, they're going to slowly keep buffing blue. So Hockney being blue makes perfect sense to me. What am I doing? Okay, anyways. So let's look at his passive first. At the start of battle, Hockney always evades skills and basic attacks for N seconds. He's basically invincible. You'll love to see it. I don't know how long it's going to be, but that's very, very strong, meaning like giving survivability to your support is great. Also, at the start of battle, restores energy of the ally with the highest attack by N and increases the critical rate and critical damage by N. That's really strong, okay? If it was just critical rate, pretty mid. Critical damage, now we're talking. Critical rate is also very important because not every character has an easy way to get 100% crit rate. So having a character that makes it easy for you to hit that is amazing. And especially with like non-like mages and like stuff like that, right? And critical damage is great. It works really well when you stack it up with other characters that increase critical damage, or a character that has the Mago set, right? You know, again, trying to talk about the Mago set. They love the Mago set. They're trying to make you use it, but This works really well with characters that do that. Let's look at this. Ult, increase all eyes evasiveness by N for N seconds. This works really well with assassins, obviously. Or characters with the Alocia set. That works really well too, because that set is based on evades. So if you have a character that can help you, that makes that people who have that set a lot better. So like, for example, Hockney will work really well with Hugo, because Hugo uses that set, the evasive set, to increase physical appearance. And because this character increases critical damage, and the set increases physical pierce, this character will work so well with Hugo. Next skill, Hockney restores energy of the ally by the highest attack by N, and increases the attack by N. Right, so basically, the character with the highest amount of damage, your damage dealing unit will get an attack buff, which is also really strong. And if the damage dealing unit, so Hugo, okay, kills somebody, okay, then they get even more energy. So this guy's an energy machine, right? So not only will you give energy to your damage dealing unit, your carry will kill someone at some point. That's their job. Their job is kill someone. They'll get more energy, meaning that they can use their ult quicker. So an amazing support. That alone just makes him like really, really strong. Like the power creep is really here when it comes to SSR units. And then Hockney deals end of attack as damage to random enemies and locks them for a couple amount of seconds, and that decreases their defense. We'll have to see how high that is, but locking them for a couple seconds is great. Then that's what makes Bomb such a really good character. This character feels like a stronger Bomb with some really cool. He has some really interesting mechanics with increasing evasiveness. I feel like this character will help cheese a lot of stuff. I feel like he's really, really strong. Like I can feel the power creep with the SSR units. Like this guy is really, really good. Cassandra was really good too. Even the last SSR unit, David was pretty decent, but this guy Hockney seems like a problem. Like Hockney seems really, really goddamn good. So overall, Hockney seems very, very strong, and Helljo really just depends on like what they do with his exclusive weapon and his revolution. But I'm really uncertain with this guy, which is kind of strange. I really don't know what to think about him, but I'm assuming he'll be very, very strong because he's a pretty hype character. But yeah, Helljo, we'll have to see. Hockney seems very, very strong from the jump. So yeah, we'll see. Also, they did talk about a HoloLive collab, and I saw this comment that was kind of funny. This guy is mad, bro. He is mad as hell, bro. He commented about how he doesn't like having a HoloLive collaboration, and then he goes up and does like, what type of collab would you have? Which is kind of funny. Sentai would be a crazy collab, but yeah, I don't really care that much about HoloLive, so I get why people are upset about it, or like they just don't care for this collab. But you know, what can you do? They decide what they want to do with the game. So but yeah, that is my entire thought process, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Oh, actually, before I forget, there is a developer live reaching during this time on the 27th. For me, it's like 3 a.m., so I am not gonna see that live schedule. I'm sorry, but I'll definitely make a video about it when it comes out. But yeah, peace out.